Welcome to the second episode of Going Infinite, where I attempt to, with Oisin usually, but he's not here this week, attempt to profit on Magic Online, or rather make 30 tickets last as long as possible. So last week we started with 30 tickets, we bought our 4 packs, we'll say they were 4 tickets, they're slightly less, but we'll say they were 4 tickets at the time. That puts us at 18, minus the 2 to enter the draft, and we won the draft, so we're essentially back up to 28 tickets, because we lost 2 to enter the draft. And now, by entering here, we are back down to 16. I believe that's right. Is that right? No, we're back down to 14. We're down to 14 tickets here, plus whatever we get out of this draft. Now, you'll notice today I'm doing an 8-4. So there's potential for genuine profit here, not the slow bleed type deal that you get with the Swiss queues. So there's a totally reasonable chance that we end up with a one video this week, or 2, I suppose, with the draft, if I bomb out in the first round. But hopefully that won't happen. And we're going to get off to a good start with... Ooh, Pia and Kieran Millar. We are getting off to a good start. My. Possibly one of the best rares in the set to open, honestly. One of the most back-breakingly powerful cards that your opponent can land on you. So that's an obvious first pick. Other notable cards are Cleric of the Forward Order, Act of Treason, not really notable. Lightning Javelin's pretty good. Aeronaut's pretty good. Force Mage isn't bad. And the Sigil of Valor's okay, but Pia and Kieran are leagues above anything else here. So what have we been up to in the past week? Something very interesting happened where one of our fans bought a playmat, which you could now buy. We gave away our Patreon playmat. So if you want a playmat now, you can head over to playmats.com and get a Windmill Slam playmat. And a good friend of ours, named Russ, went to his LGS in Brooklyn, New York, with a Windmill Slam playmat. And a bunch of kids saw it, and apparently they were all Windmill Slam fans. And one of them, named Caleb, demanded to take his picture with the playmat. And then Limited Q, or Russ, or whatever he prefers to be called, emailed it to me, and I was very touched by that. So this video goes out to Caleb for loving our playmat. And if you want to form such lovely memories as that, you can head on over and pick yourself up a sweet Windmill Slam playmat with awesome art courtesy of Matthew Burleson. What? What happened there? I didn't pick those cards. Also, why do I have 2 cards? That's not correct. Okay, well, this is a great way to go infinite because we're getting reimbursed for this draft, I believe. What the hell happened there? I had P and Kieran Millar reserved. I wasn't touching the mouse or anything. That's really strange. That's just Magic Online being... I'm trying to think if I brushed the mouse. No, I couldn't have brushed the mouse and double-clicked on a card and then done it again immediately afterwards, could I? Either way, I'm going to file for reimbursement for this draft, so this one's a write-off in terms of that. What do we want out of this pack now that we have a Weighted Underworld and a Mighty Leap? That sucks. Then we pass P and Kieran. What's the best card here? It's probably this or this, so we can... Might of the Mass I think I'll take here, actually. That's a very good card. Maybe we'll end up with a reasonable white-green deck. But yeah, I'm definitely getting reimbursed for that. That is a shambles. Elemental Bond isn't very good at all. Vast Regorger, I guess? Isn't bad. Alchemist Vial I don't hate either. But Gorger I quite like. I don't want this part of the underworld. That sucks! I'm not sure whether or not I'll include this, or I'll include the... That's a good card. Oh, Avon's probably a little better, actually. I'm not sure how I'm going to work this out in terms of the Going Infinite thing, because... Like, say I somehow magically win this 8-4, I'll have won plus 8 packs with no cost, because presumably I'm going to get reimbursed for that. I don't know what happened. I actually looked over at my playmat on the bed, and that was why I was looking away, and I looked back and we had picked 2 new cards. So I'll have to go back and check the tape, but... I really don't remember. I didn't click on anything. I guess I could have brushed it, maybe. Did I never click on P and Kieran Millar? I thought I did. I thought I reserved them. Trading Mist is excellent, so we'll pick that up. That's very strange. I'll go back and review the footage, and if I just never clicked on them and that was what happened, then I will not be posting this video, because that's astoundingly embarrassing if that was what happened. So if you're hearing this, it means that's not what happened, and Magic Online did mess up. But we have the starts of actually a pretty solid deck here. A few too many combat tricks, and a few too few creatures, and one too few P and Kieran Nalaras for my liking, but what might have happened is my connection might have been a little sketchy, and Magic Online didn't know I was there. But even if I hadn't reserved P and Kieran, I still couldn't have ended up with the two cards rather than one, could I? I still would have given me the full amount of time for the second pick, I believe. I'll have to review the footage on this one. I'm sorry, I'm a little thrown by that. I don't know what to say. Charging Griffin's not bad. Bonded Construct's not bad. I actually like this card quite a bit. Disperse is obviously very good, but I think our white-green cards aren't amazing, but I think our white cards are good enough to stay in out of the blue. Maybe I'll hedge a little. Maybe I'll take a blue card in case blue ends up open. There's no indicator of that here. Guess I'll take the Recluse. Not too happy about that. But yeah, I mean, what I was thinking there was if blue ends up being open and we end up wanting to move into blue-white, we'll be more glad we had this Disperse than we would have that Bonded Construct. I think it's worth to hedge a tiny little bit on the Disperse than playing it safe the entire way. I'm really annoyed about that. I was excited to play with P and Kieran and Laura, and that's frustrating, but what you gonna do? Yev's Force Mage is a very strong card. So is Sigil Vow is not bad either, but Yev's Force Mage is just very good. I'm gonna take that, and we're getting out of the blue plan. It's a signal, I believe. Need some 2-drops. Not gonna lie, definitely need some 2-drops. And I think we'll be taking those above all else for essentially the remainder of the draft, really. Once we hit 4, we'll be pretty happy, but I'd run 6. And just move away from the Vastwood Gorge and just play 2-drops, 3-drops, 1 or 2 4-drops, and a bunch of combat tricks. Second Disperse here, but our white-green cards are pretty good, so with that in mind, I think I'm going to take this Orchard Spirit rather than this Goldforge Sentinel. Orchard Spirit, not an insane card, but certainly not terrible. Disperse, I would say, is probably a better card, but like I stated, our white-green cards are now good enough that I think it's worth staying in them. And Trading Mist and Soulward Haven are both very solid. Force Mage, Orchard Spirit. Now, Force Mage and Might of the Masses are pretty good. Second Gorger or a Scab. I guess I could take the second Gorger. I don't imagine myself playing 2, but I guess it's possible. Yoke Dox is heading straight in the board, I'm afraid. Mantle of Webs, I guess, is also going straight in the board. Girapur Aether Grid can get out of the deck. Okay, let's hope we can recover from our slightly shaken pack 1. Molten Vortex, one of the best cards in this set. However, Tobin Freeblade and Leaf Gilder. Which one of these do I prefer? It's actually pretty tough here because we've got quite a few good, although we don't have any good 4-drops, so maybe Freeblade's the way to go. Freeblade's probably just the best 2-drop in the set. At common, anyway. I mean, the white guy, whatever his name is, something Captain, something like that. White 2-1 first strike, he's insane. But Freeblade is not far behind, and we're very happy to pick one up. Here, do we want a Sky Snare Spider or a Rock Smaulers? I think I want a Sky Snare. I think I actually want a Rock Smaulers. Sky Snare Spider is unbeatable in some situations and is one of the strongest uncommons in the set. But we already have 2 pretty good 6-drops, although they don't hold a candle to the Spider. I think I just want the 5-drop rather than upgrading one of my 6-drops. Here I think it's an easy Tobin Freeblade. I could have been arguing to the Spider there, but I'd rather have the 5-drop than the 6-drop a lot of the time. And we've got some combat tricks to back up the Rock Smaulers to get him in. Yeah, this Force Mage well works nicely there. It's true that the Spider is such a massive stop sign that it demands an answer so quickly that it definitely could be considered a viable alternative, but I think I'm happy with my maulers. I like a Force Mage a lot. Getting heavy on the 3 drops, although no, I suppose I don't really want that Hitchclaw Recluse. The other consideration there would have been the Amp Tactician, just to fill out the 4 slot, but yeah, this Force Mage is better enough that I think I want it. I may be overvaluing Eva's Force Mage, but I like it quite a lot. Especially if it's an elf, which is far from irrelevant. Although it doesn't come up that much. Here I think I want the Meteorite, probably. Get some 6 drops. Tiny bit of removal, a little bit of fixing in case we want to splash something. But again, like I said, we really want to be filling out this 2-drop slot essentially wherever we can. Another Enshrouding Mist. Happy to pick it up. That card's very strong. Orchard Spirit there is definitely notable as well. But like I said, our 3s are pretty heavy at the moment, so I'm not that interested in that. Heavy Infantry. Oh man, another Force Mage. Or probably just a Celestial Flare at this point. We do need some kind of removal, and Flare is certainly acceptable. I think it's better than a 3rd Yevas Force Mage. Although casting back-to-back Force Mages is pretty rough on your opponent, because the second one just makes the first one a 4/4. If you go 2-drop Yevas Force Mage, Yevas Force Mage, you're getting pretty aggressive. But the Flare is filling a role that our deck currently doesn't really have. Conclave Naturalist is just excellent. I love that card. I think green seems to be wide open. It's an excellent card. Freaka's Disciple or Tactician. They're pretty tough choices, actually. I've got 2 Flyers and 2 Tobin Free Blades, which work well with the Tactician if you want to curve out. This is an all-round, probably just a stronger card, but I think I might prefer the Tactician here. We passed a Rogues Passage earlier. I'd love to get our hands on one of those now that we have a Rock Smaller. But I can't remember what specifically we took over it, but I would like to have it in the deck if possible. This is filling out pretty nicely. Love some Leaf Gilders now that we've filled up this end a little more with our Rock Smaulers and our Naturalists. So I think now if we're presented with a Tobin Free Blade and Leaf Gilder again, I think at this point I'll take the first Leaf Gilder over the 3rd Free Blade. I don't really want any of these cards. Guess I'll take the rare. I can't imagine a world where I play that heavy infantry, so same with any of these cards. I guess I'll take the Way to the Underworld to go with our first one that we didn't actively select. It's important to note that Wizards has changed their policy on refunds on Magic Online. So before, what would happen was, say I won this 8-4 and then applied for a reimbursement. Oh, beautiful. Hello, friend. That's an excellent card to be going that late. That goes in just about any deck. That's really good. I'm going to put it on the board just so I know. That's where I always put lands when I'm drafting. Yeah, but say I win this 8-4 and then I file for reimbursement. Before, they would have gone, oh, well, you won more packs than you put in, so we're not going to reimburse you. But now, and this used to be the way it was way back when, and the way it is now, is that they'll reimburse you, and you just get to keep whatever you happen to win anyway. Despoiler of Souls, Llanowar Empath, Blessed Spirits, or Swift Reckoning, and I think it's going to be the Swift Reckoning here. Ordinarily this would be certainly at least a close-ish pick, although the Swift Reckoning would edge out, I'd imagine almost all the time. But with our low removal and our glut of 3-drops, I think that's a clear Swift Reckoning there, and we're pretty happy about it. Ooh, literally no green cards bar this Vine Snare, which I'm not interested in. And no white cards I'm interested in either. I think I'm going to take this Llanowar Wastes. In case we have a black card we really want to splash. Ramroller, Might of the Masses. Drying up here again. Oh, the Empath actually isn't bad at all. I might just take the Empath. Yeah, I will take the Empath. I don't mind that card at all. Cleric of the Forward Order. Seems like an easy addition to the deck. It's looking less and less likely that we'll get that Leaf Gilder I wanted, but it's fine. Evolutionary Leap. Is that worth anything? Because if not, I'm taking the Timberpack Wolf, probably. Don't think I want the Zendikar Royal. I'm going to look up if Leap is worth anything, because people like that card a lot. This is part of going infinite in Magic Online. If you're going to go for that, is selling cards that are worth something. So let's see. Evolutionary Leap. Cards are usually not worth very much on Magic Online. 50 cents. $3 in paper. I think I want a wolf. I don't think 50 cents is enough for me to take it. I think having an extra 2-drop gives us more value. I really would love a Leaf Gilder. Maybe I should have taken the Reeve Soul over the Llanowar Wastes. Oh, splashing a Reeve Soul is a little bit awkward because you don't really get to cast it when you want to. I don't want any of these cards. Visionary, I guess. It's going to end up on the board though. I'm going to avoid playing it if I can. Another Mighty Leaper, Sigil of Valor. 14 creatures. I think I want the Sigil here actually. We already have 1 Mighty Leap and 2 Enshrouding Mist and a Might of the Masses, so I think a Sigil is good enough for us. Very good with Tobin Freeblade, very good with the Aven, Spirit, great with the Maulers and all these other beefers. You just make something huge and leave your other guys back to block, makes it difficult for your opponent to race, and you just abyss them every turn. Of course, the card doesn't do anything if you only have 1 creature out, and doesn't really do much if you only have 2. Really want to be getting higher than that. I guess a Tactics. Or an Aerial Volley for the board, maybe. Actually, I don't think this is a tactic kind of deck. Although the curve is pretty solid. This makes you think it's not a Tactics kind of deck. This makes you think it's just kind of a curve out and combat tricks occasionally, rather than... If I had like more 2-drops, if I had like 6 2-drops maybe, I think that's more of a Tactics type deal where you have your 2-drop, 3-drop so reliably. Oh, it turns out we get the Tactics anyway. Tactics might be our 23rd card at this point. Because even in a deck that's slightly less consistent like this, it's definitely not bad to just cast it on turn 4 and get a big hit in. And it's a nice card to have as sort of ace in the hole if you end up in a situation where you need to draw something to finish them off. Kithian's Tactics will get that done some percentage of the time. It's definitely good to have cards like that. Rogue's Passage is very similar in that. Sometimes it's just a colourless land, but a lot of the time if the game stalls out, if the game goes long enough, I'm going to use it to get a Vastwood Gorger, or even better, a Rock Maulers in. Ooh, a Might of the Masses. I'll play another one of those, I believe. This card's very good. I'm a big fan of Might of the Masses. I'm a bigger fan of it than I am of a Celestial Flare, or maybe a Sigil of Valor, or maybe a Meteorite. Meteorite's quite nice with the 2 Gorgers. Just smooths that transition a little better. It's also removal, technically. I'm not cutting a creature with only 14 of them. I'm cutting one of these cards. I want the Leap. I would definitely want the Reckoning. I definitely want the 2 Mists. I don't know if I want the Flare. Although the Flare is probably more useful than the Tactics. Yeah, I think it's the Tactics that gets the chopping block here. The Leap's just too good with the Free Blades and the Rock Maulers and even the Gorgers and the Naturalist. Anything big. It's a great way to finish off a game. I think this is going to be a Rogue's Passage in 8 of each kind of deck. Yeah, Magic Online certainly think so. Okay, our deck turned out okay. I think maybe getting our first 2 picks be genuine might have been good for us, but I think we can do okay with this. We'll see how it goes.